So I want to address the concept of impossibly possible or possibly impossible, and how that could be possible. So someone reminded me that it could be impossibly possible. So if something's impossibly possible, could it be possible that things are not impossible? Or if something is possibly impossible, or not impossibly possible, the reverse of it being impossible, that means everything is possible, impossibly. So, given that we know that, one, things are possible, and two, that some things are impossible, but that three, some things could be impossibly possible, and that four, some things could be possibly impossible, what does that leave to be possible? Well, that would leave the impossible to be impossibly possible. So if the impossible could be impossibly possible, where does that leave the possible? It leaves it possible. So we have the impossibly impossible possible, and we have the possibly possible possible. You follow that? It's kind of like the concept of you don't know that you don't know what you don't know. So if you combine that you don't know that you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know that you don't know what you don't know, but you'd like to know that you don't know that you don't know what you don't know, and you'd like to know that, well, then where does that leave you knowing? And what does it leave you knowing? Well, it leaves you knowing that that's pretty heavy concept that could be impossible to know, possibly speaking. So if you're aware about the knowledge of not knowing that you don't know what you don't know, but you like to know it, and you want to know it. But just because you like to know something and you want to know something doesn't mean you actually know it, even though you don't know that. That thought process is pretty possible. It might seem like an impossible knowability, but actually it's not impossible to know that. It is impossible to not know that you don't know that you don't know, but you'd like to know and want to know. But it's possible to know that. So we have the impossible, well, the impossibly impossible that's possible, and we have the possible that's possibly possible. Those two concepts should get married to the idea of not knowing that you don't know what you don't know, but you'd like to know and you want to know. Just so you know that. That's a plausible concept. So I went through a program, the whole thing about landmark education. It was an educative process of, well, doing a thing called the Forum, the creative and self-expression program, and the advanced program, where we learned probably and literally nothing. Even though we were promised to know something, we really didn't come away with knowing very much. And I'm afraid I was, well, thinking it was possible that I could actually know the impossible. That's what they kind of sold us on, this education forum thing, that it was possible to know the impossible. But it's impossible to know the impossible, isn't it? Yes, it is. But it's possible that you can go to a course to learn that. And I learned that I didn't know anything, even though that I wasn't aware of that I didn't know what I didn't know. But I was searching to know and wanted to know and was hoping to know. But I came in with a just big fat no. So now that I know that, I know that not everything is possible.